WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's Monday. We got new opportunities to profit. MLB, NBA, NHL. It's a loaded week. Dan, we got to get the week started off right. How was your weekend?
It was a great weekend, man. Absolutely great. We're refocused. We're ready to go for this week. So we're going to have plenty of plays for those Lacrosse all access clients. But Andy, let's get into it right here at the top. As we do in every show, folks, we ask you to hit that like button. We ask you to hit the subscribe. Why do we ask you to do that? Because less than a minute into the show, we give you the WagerTalk Today play of the day. 7-3 on all of these plays. Andy goes 4-1 on them last week. We end on a winning week, winning on Friday. So, Andy, I say we sweep the board. Let's start laddering on a Monday. I love the idea behind what the play of the day is. What are we going with?
It's a little bit chalky, but there's some underlying numbers that I think really support it. We're just going to take the Dodgers on the run line over the Marlins here. I mean, listen, on paper, Yamamoto versus Paddock, this is a mismatch. But here's the thing. Yamamoto's coming off not a great outing against the Giants. He went 7 innings, gave up 3 runs. I expect a nice bounce back from him. And here's what I expect the Dodgers to regress to. The Dodgers have not given him good run support. His last 4 starts, they've scored 1 run, 2 runs, 4 runs, and 1 runs. I'm expecting a regression up. The Dodgers average 5.6 runs per game, 7.3 the last 3. It's time for the Dodgers bats to come alive when Yamamoto is pitching. The Marlins have lost 2 straight by the run line, and this is crazy. So the Miami Marlins, 15 losses this season. 14 of them by the run line. They just don't play in these 1-run games, and the last 6 Dodgers wins have come by the run line. So for playing the Dodgers, it's the run line or an outright loss. I don't think they lose to this Marlins team. Paddock has been pretty subpar this season. So we're going to take the Dodgers minus 105. The line is already moving in our direction, so that's going to be the play of the day. Let's start off the week with a winner.
Andy, absolutely love it. And yeah, you mentioned at the top, you're like, yeah, it's a little chalky, minus 1.5, minus 130. Yeah, they're $3 on the money line, Andy. They're minus 300 on the money line. So talk about chalky. Yeah, I like this. Dodgers, sure. Okay. Oh, how square is it going with the Dodgers on the run line? Makes a heck of a lot of sense to me, and it's not all that obvious if you think of what happened, in the previous series there against the Giants and kind of ho-hum. So a little bit of added motivation to kick off the week here for the Dodgers. That's the play of the day. Comment below what your play of the day is. And Andy, coming up here on the show, we're going to turn it over real quick here with our man Gianni the Greek. What has he been seeing? What's the latest in NBA playoff action? What are people betting on the ice? Are they betting MLB early enough in the day? Yanni's going to let you know everything that is going on right here. Krackman also here. That's right. Bill Krackenberger, baby. He's got an NBA playoff prop for you. We're going to talk NBA playoffs. And I'm wondering if Bill gets excited for Derby week. That's right, folks. Kentucky Derby week is upon us. I know he's, a mainly sports handicapper, but I'm wondering any thoughts on the ponies. We'll ask our man Bill Krackman about that. And then Steve Merrill going to shut it down. 2 plays for you in the MLB. Does he agree with our Marlins and Dodgers play? Steve will let us know. How about the Cubs and Padres? How is he betting that game? And to preview the fact that he breaks down every single NBA game right here on the channel for free, Pistons and Magic preview, and let you know where you can get all of his best bets. So all that and more coming your way. And he'll take you all around the world. He might have a barking dog here for you, folks. So don't go anywhere. Hit that like button. And let's get to our man, Gianni the Greek. What up, Gianni? Gianni, are you locked in over there, Gianni?
My man.
Can you hear us? There we go. Okay, we got you. We got you.
Ready to go. I'm on the Palms Wi-Fi right now. I got to get this back hooked up, my AT&T hotspot. My assistant just walked in, so she'll set this up. So we're rolling a little slow today. As you can see, I haven't even cleaned up from a busy weekend.
Well, I know that you definitely didn't clean up because you grabbed the Phillies lid, which credit to you, man.
Grabbed it right out of that. So the hair, I just grabbed it right out of the closet. I really did a minute ago.
Gianni, the only one willing to wear Phillies gear on a Monday. That's for sure.
I'm telling you now, they're going to finish in second place. I get it. People would call me crazy because I'm saying it, but both the Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies will finish above Miami and Washington. You heard it right here first. I know they're both 3.5, 4 games behind both those teams, but rest assured, Philadelphia and the Mets will finish above Washington and Miami, just like Cincinnati's not going to win the Central. In fact, what am I seeing with Cincinnati? What did I just see? I saw Cincinnati. They have Cincinnati in first place right now, and I just got my updated expectations for MLB season, and my man has the Cincinnati Reds will finish 2 games below 500 when the season is said and done. So they're sitting 8 games above 500. My man says they will not finish as a winning team. In fact, only one team will be worse than them, and that is the St. Louis Cardinals. And believe it or not, he still has the Milwaukee Brewers finishing in second, right behind the Chicago Cubs, who should win the division. So that's what I love about baseball. We have 160 plus games to find out whether we were right or wrong, and a big enough sample size for it to happen.
So, Gianni, I want to ask you about the Phillies, because we were talking a little bit before we went live here. I understand what the season-long projections are, but I was just saying, like, when these teams go into these slumps, if you can just figure out when a team is in a slump, getting ready to go into a slump, it makes life a lot easier. And I was talking to Dan, why are we not just playing against the Phillies until they right the ship? Do you do that at all? Do you just pick a team like the Mets? They went on an epic losing streak. They're a mess. You could have put the Red Sox in there, but they just fired their manager and they come out with a win. This was one of Dave Koken's favorite betting angles in all of sports, the underachieving team that fires a coach. Do you ride these losing streaks?
No, I'm not a streak guy. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a guy that bets streaks to end either. That's the quickest way to go broke. Like, I'm not looking for streaks to end, but I know with streaks, if I don't get involved early, then I feel like I'm gambling. You know what I mean? Almost like I expect a regression, but is it going to happen now? Like, the streak could continue and continue outperforming. It could continue defying. But how long can that happen for? Again, anyone that's betting a streak, God bless you. And it's a great way to make money. Where fading a streak, that's how you could run into trouble. Because again, if you fade a streak, you'd only cash one bet. That's if the streak loses, but you could lose multiple bets if the streak continues. But if you're riding a streak, it's the opposite. You could win multiple bets, but you could only lose one bet, because once it loses, the streak's over. So I see the psychology behind looking for streaks and riding them, as opposed to looking for streaks to end. But I just find that too difficult to do. Again, I think you have to be the kind of handicapper that really focuses on maybe one particular team or one particular division at the very most, and really, really consume every piece of content and information that you can, from beat writers, from anyone covering that team or that division or conference. And then I think maybe you'll have a shot of identifying where a team should not be playing their optimum. Like, maybe there's turmoil in the locker room, or there's talk about, they're going to dump the year and look to rebuild next year, or what have you, for any kind of narrative why they should do bad or should do good. I'm just not that kind of a handicapper. I know there are specialists that's what they do. And those kind of guys, I think, can profit by identifying those opportunities. But I think you have to be very, very team specific, or at the very most, like I said, maybe conference or division specific, because you just got to focus on stuff that's not factored into the betting line. And that's that real minutia, you know what I mean? Like the real tidbits of information that we just all overlook. Because again, here's what sticks out to me in baseball. You got to remember, teams like the Phillies, teams like the Red Sox, teams like even I look now at the bottom, teams like the Nationals, teams with losing records, the Angels. Look at the strength of schedule we're talking about. The Phillies have the 10th toughest schedule in all of Major League Baseball. But when I look at the top teams, I look at the Dodgers, 30th in Major League Baseball, the Yankees, 29th in Major League Baseball, the Braves, 28th in Major League Baseball, Padres, 30th in Major League Baseball. So it's not by accident those teams are doing good. what's going to happen when that strength of schedule gets tougher. Because I can tell you, like right now, the Blue Jays, they've had the 24th toughest schedule, but coming up, they're about to face a top 15 over the next 30 days. Like that's what we're looking to isolate. Is a team about to face a tougher strength of schedule over the next 30 days, or easier strength of schedule over the next 30 days? And then we look to isolate teams to look to fade or look to back in that next, 30 days, looking to regress or progress. I know I'm going deep into the weeds, but that's actually how I do my baseball. And so far it's performed well. I mean, it's an approach that works for me, coupled with the power ratings. And again, so far we're sitting profitable, definitely top 5 in profit in baseball. So I'm going to stick to what works, and hopefully we'll see when the season ends who's right.
I want to talk to you about UFC, something that I've come to the realization with, but I want to get steam for today because we do have NBA playoffs. We've got some NHL. We've got MLB. I don't think there's any day games. There's only one, like 6:00 Eastern MLB. So we got a lot of time left in the day before those games starts. What are you seeing?
All right. So far, let me get Major League Baseball out of the way first, and then we'll dig into NBA, NHL. Major League Baseball, just a couple moves for you early on. 902 under 8.5, St. Louis and Pittsburgh. 904 San Diego at even money and the under 8 at -115. Tampa Bay plus 125. 909 Boston plus 125. 914 White Sox plus 105. And 916 Texas plus 155 and 150. So they got out ahead on some of these underdogs in Major League Baseball. Nothing in NHL. What I can tell you is public's coming in on Pittsburgh. They're in a do or die situation with their back against the wall. Philly up 3-1. Historically, teams in Philadelphia's position have closed out the series, I think, close to 7 out of 10 times. So it has been a spot where teams in the situation that Philadelphia finds themselves have actually closed it out and not been forced into a game 6. Utah up 2-1 over Vegas. No surprise. Vegas money has been coming in. Actually even saw some parlays yesterday, moneyline parlays from NBA and NHL tied into Vegas for today. I kind of hope Vegas wins as well. I have game 5 tickets for Wednesday night, so I'm hoping it's tied 2-2 going into Wednesday. NBA, no surprise here as well. All favorite expected from the public. They're going to bet the favorites tonight. And what I've been seeing, at least from the sharp bettors that are using NBA to more or less work some middles and not really taking positions, they got out ahead on all these favors. They took 561 Oklahoma City, 564 Denver, both at -10, and then they laid the 2 on Detroit as well. So Oklahoma City -10, Denver -10, Detroit -2. And as far as totals, they went over 212.5 and 213.5 in Oklahoma City, under 224.5 in Denver. And then I saw over 214 in one account in the Detroit game, and then under 215.5 in a different account in the Detroit game. So that total, you see a little difference of opinion. Again, so far, that's what's been sticking out. We're looking at Oklahoma City. They're up 3-0. Denver's up. Minnesota's up 3-1 over Denver. A little surprising there. And the big surprise, Orlando 2-1 up over Detroit, but another team that had a real tough strength of schedule. In fact, Orlando had the 4th toughest strength of schedule compared to 29th for Detroit. That's starting to show in these NBA playoffs, as the dog has covered 2 of the 3 on the money line, and those dogs have been covering. In fact, the 3 teams playing today have played a combined 10 games in these playoff matchups. Favorites are 5-5. So 5 dogs, 5 favorites. Book's done a great job of balancing that out. With that said, 4 of the dogs that covered won outright. Don't be afraid to sprinkle those money lines. We talk about it during March Madness, and we talk about it during the playoffs in both NBA playoffs, NFL playoffs, and bowl games. That the quantifying motivation is impossible to do during a regular season, but during the playoffs, you come in assuming everybody's 100% motivated to win. Kind of gives you a little edge there. So that's what we got going on in NBA and NHL playoffs. Busy day, man. Again, small board, but a lot of good stuff to get into.
Question: do you and VR agree on NBA player props? Do you handicap? Do you do player props?
No, I just don't have the time, man. I wish I did, because, it's one of those smaller markets that's definitely beatable. So I kind of just, I piggyback what I see in the accounts that I think still that I actually see is readily available, because most props are very time sensitive when it's sharp information. Like it's hard to get the number after 5-10 minutes, let's say, and getting down, releasing the play and expecting subscribers to be able to do the same. It's a hard ask. During the steam room, it's possible because we're going live, but that's the difficulty I run with the props, because I'm not an originator. Where with someone like yourself, you originate your own props, so you're not going to run into that problem. But for me, I run into that problem because I'm not originating my own props, so I'm dealing with time-sensitive information, and either I can use it and share it, or most times I can just use it, but I'm unable to share it. Kind of like the baseball, college baseball, where, I don't handicap those markets, but that does so well. I do my best to share what I can with subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, Bill and I do props all the time, and we have to
exactly
wait.
Like Bill, he knows exactly what he's looking for. He's done it for so long. We can't give out the lines
that are gone a minute later.
Yeah, Bill can look. He don't even need to look at the matchup. Like, he could, any Super Bowl, as soon as they post the lines, he has so much experience. Bill knows what it should be priced around. So he'll see the inefficiency, minutes way before I can. Like, I'd have to dig into the data, and it'd be way too late. Guys like that could just see the number, and yeah, it's a different breed. So I kind of stay in my lane.
All right, let's talk UFC. We were half joking, half serious about how can you put a number on these situations that are not baked into the line. And one of them we talked about was Mayra Bueno Silva has not won a fight since she tested positive for a banned substance. And you and I were both wanted to bet against her, and she got dog walked. So what's your take on UFC? And I really think I'm going to try and embrace this, Gianni. I'm going to try and figure out, and I mean this, I swear to God, if there's anybody watching in the chat that knows how to do this or wants to work with me, I am all ears, because there has got to be a way to put a number on some of these outside factors. The fade the baby theory, the fighter that isn't on steroids anymore. And we saw another one. Here's another one with Lucas Brennan. The guy that couldn't win in Bellator comes over and gets mollywopped in UFC. There's got to be some numbers in there. What's your take on UFC?
There is, and there's a quant out there, Andy, that need to connect with you, that can do it. Like, I got lucky. I grew up with a kid that he could have went anywhere. No lie. Like, got accepted to Cal Poly. Didn't apply to MIT, but probably could have had a fighting shot. But because his mother was sick, stayed in Philadelphia and went to Drexel, which is like a good technical university on the East Coast. So to make a long story short, we just connected by accident, and he's the math guy. And just talking, we decided to let's try this. And, next thing you know, come up with power ratings. And here we are 5-6 years later, and I'm actually putting them into play and using them to make money. I think you definitely can find a quant out there that doesn't even have to understand sports betting. And it's even better if they don't, so that they are not biased in any way, and simply take the data and figure out a way to quantify it. There's definitely a way. All you need is a sample size, and there's a quant that'll figure out pricing for you. And that's what I love about the market. Like, anyone could come up with an edge if they really put in the time and effort. And it's just a matter of, can you keep it a secret so that the market doesn't start factoring it into the price? Because most of us, we just can't help ourselves. Once we find something like too good to be true, we can't wait to tell the world. And unfortunately, that's how, the books catch up. Because I know, like, I don't want to go into it long, but I remember when I first came to Vegas, and we would have a Tuesday meeting where, sharp guys would get together, and we would go over all the college football games and all the NFL games. You could believe this. They would meet at a bar or restaurant, and it would be about 15, 20 guys like myself. And we would go through each game and share what information we had. It was called the Tuesday meeting. And that's what we would do, just share all kind of different information. But before leaving, that was whatever, no one could share anything from outside this room. So like someone would pick up a trend, like, hey, listen, they're fading all the number one ranked teams immediately. They're getting bet in college football, so let's do this. Or they're figuring an edge in a total, let's do that. Or something with the parlay cards, let's do this. And the room would take advantage, but everyone did a really good job of keeping it secret. That's no longer anymore. Those people aren't alive anymore. Like today with the internet and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, people can't wait. People are dude, they're showing their crimes on TikTok. Like people are actually committing crimes on Instagram. Like people can't wait to show you what they're doing. So yeah, keep it a secret when you figure it out, Andy. Just share it with me. I'll get you down.
Well, the chat says getting Aljo Sterling was a crime at plus money.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Here's another one. The side hustle. We have the side hustle theory, Yanni. Fighters that have other jobs. We've bet against photographers and real estate agents and those OnlyFans fighters that just recently started your OnlyFans. So I will start to work. I will start to work on this.
Yeah, that is a good one because again, and you see it with guys that that start to make money in all sports. It's like Kobe Bryant said that. Kobe Bryant said he found the NBA easier than college because in college, he said, everybody was hungry. He said, as soon as I got to the NBA, I realized most of these guys, they just wanted financial security. They were playing basketball for financial security. So as soon as they got it, they were done. They were finished. Yep. He's like, 1,000%. So I just said, damn, no wonder Michael won 7 championships. He's like, of course Michael won 7 championships. He's the only one that still gave a shit. I was like, damn. I got goosebumps just saying that, listening to Kobe, thinking of Kobe saying that.
Yeah, right. Tony Gonzalez said the same thing. He said he would estimate 3 to 5% of NFL players really have that true hunger,
drive still.
Yeah, the drive. So it makes sense. So run a little long, but it's always great talking to you. What do you have out for everyone on Monday?
Yes, sir. No package up yet because we're just getting in there, but I'm going to put the Steam sheet because I want to share what's available to my subscribers. It'll be available for everyone on the daily as well. But I do have NBA right now, number 1 in profit in the NBA, up over 40 units in the playoffs at 72%. I'm staying very selective. I do like tonight's board. I already have a really strong 4%. The problem was yesterday, 2 games qualified for 5%. Under in the Lakers game and under in the Spurs game. I ended up using the Lakers as the 5, the Spurs at the 4, and ended up doing the opposite. But NBA package will be up. I won't have NHL, but I should have Major League Baseball as well. Busy week ahead. UFC on Saturday. Let's keep grinding. And shout out to all the guys that jumped on board, teaming up with me for the rest of the year from Saturday's Steam Room. Remember, we had a winning week over the last 7 days. Stick to the grind. We're sitting pretty for 2026. Let's just keep adding profit, baby. Best of luck to all this week.
Thank you, Yanni. Appreciate it. Gianni the Greek, everyone. Yeah, been a really good weekend for us, Dan. Congratulations. Yet another lacrosse winner. You just keep grinding them out. So for all access clients, real quick, tell everyone what's going to happen this week because most people expect that maybe a couple plays a week, but I believe we probably are going to have a little bit more.
Yeah, so this week should be pretty heavy volume. So the folks who bought, we did that lacrosse all access, and then we also have long-term clients. This is the conference tournament, so there are games starting tomorrow. Don't love anything tomorrow, but Thursday, Friday, and then these teams are going to be playing much more games in a shorter amount of time because this determines now what are the teams that are going to get automatically qualified for NCAA, the tournament. You get an auto bid for leagues like the Big Ten when you win, and then there's also at-large bids. So there's a lot of intrigue, Andy, that we will be handicapping all along the way. We've been diving into the conferences that no one is. I mean, we've been cashing tickets on teams like Merrimack and Quinnipiac. This is the deep dive we're doing for you. But if big sports are your things, Andy, over at wt.buzz/AL. Obviously the lacrosse package is really accessible. You can also tack it on if you get Andy's all access. But if you like NBA, you like NHL, and those of you who are asking, hey, do you guys do MLB? Oh, yeah, we do MLB, and we've been seeing it well. Andy, we got a package for those people who want this big 3 through the end. So tell them about that because I think this is a hell of a deal.
This is a perfect time of year for all you guys because we run insane specials. Like football season. We're so busy and there's just so much going on that we run our basic specials and then it's all hands on deck. But this is the time of year we run some great specials. So NBA, NHL, you're going to get the rest of the playoffs, and we're going to throw in MLB for only $249. So you're basically getting 60 days of 3 sports. I really truly mean this. Sometimes I'll have a good read on playoffs and it just lasts the whole playoffs. Sometimes I have bad reads on the playoffs and it just lasts the whole time. So I've got a great read on both of these playoffs. 9-5 in NBA playoffs for 17 units. Our 4% best bets have been money. And we've started off perfect in NHL. Perfect 5-0 start. Is that going to continue? Of course not. We're not going to run the table for 60 days. But I do expect to be at a sustainable win rate. And MLB, 9-3 run the last 2 weeks. We're number 7 out of 30 handicappers at WagerTalk. So we're profitable in all of these. So for only $249, you want to get 3 sports. It's a perfect time of year to invest in something like this because we just don't run these specials when it comes time to fall. We're just too busy with everything. So you want to grab that. We also have Dan's Lacrosse pack that is up. We're going to be a little bit more high volume in that. And if you want all sports, we are still running the summer spectacular sale. Only $549 get you every play all the way through August 31st. We're already profitable for this month. Yeah, January, February, and March, we've been profitable. We're already profitable in April. So looking to close out strong. Partner up with us, guys. We can make your money work for you. We can put your bankroll to use and make money at this time of year. This is what we do. These are the sports that we specialize in. So very, very excited about that.
Real quick, I know we got Bill coming up here, and he's got an NBA prop for you or an MLB prop. I mean, MLB props for Bill have been absolutely insane. He's on a 7-0 run. He's on a 12-4 overall run. So don't worry, Bill Krackenberger's coming up. Feld Paul is asking about, hey, how about you give us a free one? Well, you know what? I will give one free for you, Andy, because Lehigh Lacrosse that plays tomorrow at 6 p.m., they're playing Boston University. If those who bought a play from us over the weekend, they know on Friday, I gave you a loser on Lehigh. The reason being because Lehigh needed to win to get in unless Navy, who was a 5-goal favorite, lost. Navy is a 5-goal favorite loses. The game doesn't matter for Lehigh. They just mail it in. The only reason that Lehigh is in the Patriot League tournament is because Navy lost. They shouldn't be here. They certainly don't match up against Boston University. Lay 1.5. It's even money right now. This one is going to move. So there you go. Go on over to the Green Book. Lay 1.5 with Boston University, or take them on the money line if you want to keep it a little bit safer. But I like that plus 110. BU beats down Lehigh. There you go. All you got to ask, folks. All you got to do is ask, and we'll try and get you winners here. Hit that like button and subscribe. And Andy, we already told people about the specials, so let's get to Bill. He's been patiently waiting, Bill. And sure, Bill, you know, a lot of times in football season, we come on Mondays, and you're like, boys, I'm pissed off. I mean, tell me you're not pissed off after a great weekend. Back-to-back sweeps for the clients and yourself in MLB, man. You have to at least be feeling a little good on a Monday, Bill.
I have to go to a psychologist, a psychiatrist. I really don't get up in good moods, but yeah,
I love it.
And you know, I get mad at a lot of things in the industry and a lot of these fake influencers and bullshit people that are trying to steal kids' money. And I say kids, the under 30 crowd, and with their social media platforms and stuff, and just totally out and out lying. But however, though, no, I'm. Listen, I'm a professional sports bettor. I bet sports for a living. So I paid tax on sports betting wins for almost 30 years. This is 30 years, actually, 2026. So yeah, I expect to win. Long term, I'm going to win, as people now know at WagerTalk. Just like I told you guys during March Madness, for months I said, get on the March Madness train, get on the Super Bowl train when I was 7-0 again. But you know, so it's kind of natural to me to think that I'm going to win. And yes, okay, I was 7-0. I didn't even know. I know last week I was 13-4 at WagerTalk, and plus 21.7 units on, if you're using the unit size, I tell you to bet. But baseball's a grind, so it's a grind season. It's not easy to win day in, day out, week in, week out. But however, if you follow what I do, it's what I'm betting. So yeah, especially if you have. I'm really more open. Living in Nevada, I have to check out this legality because I know in April, the beginning of April, there was a judge here that said you can't use Kalshi, and I want to do everything above board. So I haven't joined these prediction markets yet. There's a couple different ones. Luckily enough, we have the South Point here with 10-cent baseball lines. I have many options where even the 20-cent line ones, even the bigger line, I did my VSiN show this past week and someone wrote into us and he was right. I can't believe how much value he's getting. I hate to say it on DraftKings and these other places back east on their baseball when some of their lines are like minus 140, come back 118. I'm like, wait a minute. How can you be telling me that you're getting I actually looked after my Thursday show. He's right. They're putting some of their favorites so high that the underdog prices you get at not only DraftKings, there was like 4 sports books he mentioned back east. Their underdog prices are so high because they are dealing to their customer base, which always bets, Dodgers run line, all the big teams. They even bet Yankees, even though they had a terrible streak. The Mets, they're still betting the Mets. It's amazing sometimes the value you get on some of these marquee teams betting against the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees. It really is shocking the prices you get. And I didn't know it because I don't have it here in Nevada. But I started looking Thursday and Friday. That's something to look at too. You're still, even though I'm not in the prediction markets, I'm still going to bet baseball almost even. In other words, I could find minus 130, plus 130 because I have so many different places to shop. And if you put these other places into the mix here, you could be betting baseball, even though the juice has been so much wider, as long as you have lots of outs. So anyway, guys, going back to that all, yes, great week in baseball, having a decent season. It's a grind, like I said. But here already, I'm thinking of right around the corner is preseason football. People are asking me
Yep.
about a March, or asking about more people asking about the Kentucky Derby this week. Hey, Bill, I didn't realize it was going on next week because you know what it is. I had last year on my show, and I've had him on my show many times. Paul Matisse, who is
Yep.
one of the sharpest brains in the world. Paul and I remember we were doing some stuff together about about 13 years ago. And I started, I was giving Paul and his brother are absolute horse race betting geniuses. They do it very unconventional, not like the typical handicapper. And I remember we were getting thrown out of accounts. So I know if I was getting thrown out of accounts, I knew they had something. And they did. So Paul came on last year on my show and gave out the winner of the Kentucky Derby, paid $18. And I guess people remember that and they think it's me. It's not me. It was Paul. However, I just text Paul. I'm going to try to get him on my show Wednesday night. So I said, Paul, would you like to come on and talk horse racing? He was kind of sour about horse racing when I talked to him because of the computer, the CAWs, computer assisted wagering that these racetracks are in bed with, and they were literally ruining the game. So, but Paul and his brother have, like I said, have made tens of millions over their career, and I'm hoping to get his pick on the Derby if I don't get him on the show, because like I said, he looks at it from a different perspective, and I know that these guys are some of the best. And trust me, I'm not a big believer in anyone going to a horse race track, and I know that it's 20% house edge compared to 4.5% of sports, so it's 5 times more. I'll even say it up to 25% with the gimmicks and stuff. So I know it's so hard to overcome compared to sports. I don't recommend it for anyone. But I'm going to try to get Paul on and at least get his pick. So that's what I'm going to do this week for the customers on my podcast.
I love that. And you can check it out right here on WagerTalk's channel as well. We have our man, John Hoagland, who goes out, videotapes it. It's a great production that you can see if you're subscribed. Boom. Once it's live on the channel, or find it wherever you love podcasts. But if you want to see the video version of it, you can see it right here on WagerTalk TV. Bill, any prop you got for the folks here today? I do want to talk, just an overview of NBA playoffs because I want to get your thoughts on that, obviously. But the folks, they're always in the comments. Can we get a prop from Bill? So where are we going? Are we going to the diamond or the hardwood? What do you got, Bill?
Yeah. Let's go to Rudy Gobert on Minnesota under 21.5 rebounds. and that's minus 125 at MGM. I just looked. I think it's minus 1.25. Anyway, I know Minnesota is missing 2 starters, but it's a tough task for Gobert tonight. He has to guard Jokic, and who should be super aggressive tonight in an elimination game at home. Rudy can get into quick foul trouble here. You have to remember the spread's 11.5, so it's a big spread. So that it has a chance to be a blowout and maybe rest some of those starters in the fourth quarter. So that is the NBA prop that I'm going to give everyone to play. NBA props are, bread and butter. NFL props, bread and butter. Props are the way to go. And I give out an obtainable line. It's very important. As far as the playoffs go, yeah, we see they're getting interesting here. Cavaliers, Raptors, Knicks, Hawks, tied up. Some of the other ones look like they should be over here, but Minnesota, OKC, Boston, Spurs, Lakers, all with good leads. 1 win from closing out their series. But lots of times I will say, just because someone is in a must-win situation, just always think outside the box a little bit. If they're in must-win, lots of times that could be too much pressure on them. Not really. They're professionals. I'll just say this: it's too much pressure on the public that wants to bet the must-win games. So think about that. I know a lot of people love the Lakers. Oh my God, the Lakers are going to sweep them. It was 100-1 for them to sweep. Well, things don't always work out for teams, and it's hard to come back from three zip. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these be more competitive down the line, but just be careful with must wins. I was listening to someone yesterday talk about that, just shaking my head, because the books also know it's must win. So therefore, you're probably going to pay in a way of tax. If you only have 1 or 2 outs, you're probably going to have to, take your extra half, or lay an extra half a point, or take an extra half a point penalty there. Unless you have lots of outs, the sharp outs. It's always good here in Vegas to have Circa, and it's always good to have South Point. The win, here's the difference in lines. I'm dead serious. It's a half a point difference. If you have the win, Stations, and what's the other one there? There's 3 of them I always say in town. 3 slower moving lines, Treasure Island. If you have slower moving lines like those 3 or square books, and then you have the sharper books like South Point, like Circa, you could see the difference. There's an extra half a point there on almost every single game every day. I know it's still a big deal. Half a point. You figure, I only bet $100. Let me tell you something. That's going to cost you free bets by the end of the year. It's not the mentality to have, unless you're doing this for fun. But if you're doing this for fun and not to win money, you probably shouldn't even be watching.
Bill, clarify the number real quick on the prop for Rudy Gobert. What's the number?
Gobert under 21.5. And I do apologize, guys. It's rebounds and points. If under 21.5 rebounds would be a great bet. Yeah. That's what you yeah, I like that one. Yeah. Well,
hell of a bet.
It's worded wrong on the site. I can't believe it's worded wrong on one of the sports betting sites. They have rebounds first, because of course it's always points/rebounds. So yeah, they had rebounds. I just said rebounds, but it's points and rebounds under 21.5 minus a quarter, guys. So there you go. There's a prop for you guys. And it's a grind, baseball, guys. Remember that it's a grind. Don't get mad. Don't get firing on your own stuff, or just because the late game, and maybe I don't have a play on the late game, and now it's 7:00 East Coast time, and you're betting the early game, then it's 10 o'clock. You're trying to get out. Next thing you know, you're playing online blackjack and slots and everything else. It's really a sickness. The iGaming is ruining America. I've talked about it on multiple shows. I can't help myself. I'm a broken record. Ruining American sports gamblers that cross over and are betting, in the safety of their house when the kids are asleep. You're betting slots and video poker and blackjack. Absolutely destroying people. That the numbers are out there. They're public. They have to be. New Jersey has made triple the money. Triple. Online iGaming, playing slots in cyberspace rather than in the casinos, triple the money. Think about that. Brick and mortar casinos in Atlantic City, I think it was $2 billion profit, $6 billion made on the in the iGaming. That's how much closet gambling is going on. All right, I've said enough.
I love it, Bill. We appreciate it, man. We'll be looking for your podcast here on the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Bill, always a pleasure, brother. Thank you. And that's what I'm saying. Don't be a bum. Hit the thumb and hit subscribe, and you'll know when his podcast goes live. You'll know when Steve's every game on the board for NBA. That's right. Steve Merrill has given out every single NBA game free on the channel. If you haven't hit subscribe for that, you're ridiculous. Just real quick, you can head on over to wt.buzz/Krackman. That's the quickest way to get the Bills page right there. He is on a 7-0 MLB run. He's got a 4%er rocking tonight. So you can grab that over his page, $25, or use advantage of, the buy 3, get 3 days free. That'll get that play included for just $69. So all those, you don't have to memorize the deals. Head on over to his page at WagerTalk.com. His best bets up now, Andy.
All right, let's bring in Steve Merrill, and I have a question that the chat has brought up here. Steve,
what's up, boys?
So we'll need to get our thoughts. How do you feel about the Army Ranger betting that they were going to get?
Oh yeah, this is a crazy story
of Venezuela. Yeah. Illegal or just confidence? Betting on yourself, Kirk Cousins.
Pete Rose.
Yeah, Andy, as you can imagine, I definitely have an opinion on this. It's funny, when Bill was just talking about the prediction markets, I just went down the ChatGPT rabbit hole. I tell me about the longevity and legality going forward of these markets, because it's a huge gray area, because they're regulated. Actually, Kalshi has probably got a little less safer net, because they're actually regulated through the Commodities Exchange, futures trading, the CME, whereas Polymarket's getting closer to being there. My take is they're too big to fail, and now that they're everywhere. And but I do think it's a real gray area, and I personally think it's sports betting. But if it's a futures contract, it's not considered gambling. So it's going to play out over the next several years. But it's come a lot faster than I thought. You guys have heard me say for years now that we're 15, 20 years behind England. They've had Betfair and the other, exchange-style trading markets. I thought we were kind of the wild, wild west of sports betting. I'd like to get to that minus 101 juice each way, and we've come a lot faster. But the size of these markets is insane. The fact that you can bet on things like, will Maduro be captured? My first take was, we're not putting congressmen in jail for insider trading. We're going to put an actual, military vet who put his life on the line during this mission. I wasn't in favor of that. But the more I've thought about it, you could definitely make the argument that he put the mission at jeopardy, and he put even, some of his fellow military lives at jeopardy, because had the market moved enough to alert the Venezuelans that something was coming, that's a big problem. So I can see both sides of this. Personally, don't want to see him go to jail, but I also think you can't be doing that just from a military perspective. I think the military probably should act more than maybe the legality or the feds to put him in jail. I think the military probably has a bigger case, because there was a definite risk to the troops if he had alerted the other side that something was coming by the trades.
I know. I mean, he gets arrested, and yet how many insider trading things has happened?
Right, that's what's disgusting.
In Congress, in the presidential office. Did you see the guy the account that's correctly predicted 11 straight oil massive moves that happen to coincide with whatever? All right.
Yeah, it's the one thing Democrats and Republicans can all agree on. They don't want to change it, and they're both corruptly benefiting from it. In fact, I saw a graph the other day, Andy. They showed like the top 20 congressmen. It was blue and red. It was like 10 and 10. And there was one who was actually a Republican. He was like at a 1,000% return or something. But there was a couple of Democrats and Republicans right behind him. It's disgusting. And, once again, the problem we have in this country is that people are like, they need to change the law. Yeah, well, who makes the laws? It's them. Just like when they give themselves a pay bump, they determine their pay grade and their pay bump as well. I mean, we need term limits. Yeah, well, who's going to vote that in? Them. I mean, that's the biggest problem, is like everyone who wants to change this stuff are the ones benefiting from it. But yeah, the insiders trading stuff is disgusting. But that's my take. I don't want to see him punished like legally. But then the more I thought about it, I think militarily that was a real risk involved had that market spike. Anybody in the chat, by the way, I haven't looked this up, but I'd love to see how much that market moved. Because, I mean, if you're putting 30,000 down, getting a 400,000 payout, how are you not moving that market enough? When the Venezuelans, they maybe they weren't smart enough to be watching Polymarket and Kalshi, but they should be, because you see it go from 3% to 30%. You might want to lock the windows.
My question is, why are people betting these markets when you could be betting, will Jesus return or not in the year?
Isn't that like 20%?
That's what you should
that
be
seems
betting.
like the most sure thing ever. That one's insane.
You bet. Yeah, you bet. Exactly, Steve. You bet that, because guess what? if he does return, you ain't going to be worried about your poly market future or your college
Everything will be great.
That's
We'll all be rich. No, the one I've always said you got to bet is like, will there be a nuclear disaster? It's like, hey, man, if I'm wrong on that one, I ain't cashing anyway. That's the market you can't go wrong on. The Jesus one could go both ways because you might be wrong and you're not going to get paid.
You're right. Maybe you don't get
that wasn't that like at 20% the other month when I saw that. That's insane.
It's honestly you could go down the rabbit hole, Steve, you're just like you can really place a predictive future on this. But the answer is yes. But Steve, here we'll reel it back.
No, I gotta get a smart ass comment in real quick, Andy. I mean, I love that we're talking about Jesus returning when Dan Alexander literally looks like Jesus right here on the screen. He has returned. That's the 20% right there. All the people watching Wager Talk made up that 20%. They think he's already returned.
Who would have thought? And I'm sure we'll get comments about being blasphemous, but please keep those comments coming. But who would have thought Jesus was such a lacrosse fan, Steve? Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thought? By the way, Dan, I got it. If you're a bum, if you don't hit the thumb, I might have to steal that today when we do the NBA videos for Tuesday. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
I don't know. I hadn't heard that one before.
Well done.
You're drunk on rum if you don't hit that thumb. I'm going down the thumb rabbit hole here. There might be a lot
I like this. I like this a lot. So now, even more reason to subscribe to the channel. What the hell is Steve going to say about his thumb on his NBA video today? You'll find out right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. All right, Steve, here we'll reel it back in and talk things that typically people are betting. Not will Jesus return. Let's talk Cubs and Padres. You got an NBA play as well. But let's kick it off here because a guy who I have been a huge fan of early on in the year, some of the earliest free plays that I gave away here were pro Randy Vasquez bets. And the start of the season's been terrific for the Padres pitcher. Now he's going to be facing and trying to tame one of these hotter offenses, arguably one of the hottest in MLB as he's taking on the Chicago Cubs. This is a tight money line. So the second game we have for you, Steve, is quite a different handicap between what you're going to be breaking down, Cubs and Padres. How are you looking to bet this one?
Yeah, Matthew Boyd will be facing him. Not the son of Oil Can Boyd. Comment below if you're from the 1980s like me and you've got the 1985 Topps Boston Red Sox Oil Can Boyd. I don't even remember his first name anymore. It's like Rodney or something, but one of my favorite names ever, Oil Can Boyd. They put that on the actual baseball card. We've got Matthew Boyd on the mound, not having a great season as a starter, 5.8 ERA. And I believe he's made 3 starts this year. He hasn't gone more than basically five innings on average. He's pitched 14 innings in those 3 starts. So huge pitching edge for Vasquez on the mound tonight, in my opinion. Yet you look at this line, and it's basically a pick-em price. Makes no sense to me. I think part of the reason is because the Cubs are in decent current form. But are they, though? You know, this is a team that was on a multiple-game win streak. It was at least 8 in a row, tied for first, and then they won the first game in L.A. on Friday and then dropped the last 2 games 18-4. Makes me think maybe they're starting to turn over a bit. We're starting to catch a little bit of a cool-off period here. Obviously, giving up 18 runs is different, although I don't think Boyd's any better than those pitchers. But they've only scored 4 the last 2 games after putting up 6 runs or more in 4 straight before that. So I do think Vasquez pitches well tonight. We always look for a little bit of a regression when a guy has a 1.9 ERA on the season. But he had that regression a couple starts ago in a no-decision 4-inning effort against Seattle and then bounced right back with a 7-inning shutout, 3 hits allowed, no walks. And against Colorado in Coors Field, which makes that more impressive because that's a hitter-friendly park. I like the Padres in this one. Lay the short number with Vasquez, the huge pitching edge, and maybe the team that's actually in better current form if the Cubs are starting to cool off tonight. That's around $1.12, $1.15 at 9:40 Eastern.
Yeah, love the thoughts there, Steve. And our Wager Talk Today play of the day was on this Dodgers team taking on the Marlins. They're huge favorites. I want to get your thoughts. We were saying, hey, is it just Dodgers money lines or Dodgers, run line to save you some of that juice? Really the only way that you could probably bet that if you're looking towards the favorite. So your thoughts on that, Steve. But first, tell folks what they can find over your page, wt.buzz/SM.
Yeah, I mean, NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball. There's 8 Major League Baseball games on the board tonight on Monday. I'm giving you 2 free here on Wager Talk TV for this Monday. I've got 3 other games as client best bets already loaded right now. 3 totally different games that we're not giving you for free here. So it's a great reason to go to wagertalk.com. And, of course, the NBA playoffs in full effect each and every day on my page as well. And don't forget about that bonus free play. The last cut, just a bit outside from being a best bet, goes up as a bonus free play on my page each and every day as well. Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com. You can get there quicker wt.buzz/SM. And while you're there, several special offers still available. To buy 3, get 3 days free. It's been so popular over the past month that we just keep it coming. 6 days for the price of 3. You buy 3, you get 3 more free. Of course, I've also got a 1-month discount, $100 discount on the 30-day all access with promo code SM100. Summer Spectacular is still available. It's still there, and it's still spectacular. 3.5 months, football, basketball, and baseball, because it's getting you through August 31st. So, yeah, it's getting into the football season for about $5 a day. I got to pull Abe Lincoln out because, of course, tomorrow's $5 Tuesday. Everybody gets so excited for $5 plays. How about getting there every day for this entire summer for $5? It's like $2 to $3 a play. Or, of course, the 1-year all access is about $1 a play. George Washington gets invited to that party with the instant $500 discount. And that includes all of next year's college and pro football seasons complete, all of next year's college and pro basketball seasons complete, into the NBA playoffs, the rest of this year's playoffs, ton of this year's baseball into next year's baseball. It's a great time to start taking a true investment approach. Build that bankroll as we head into the summer and get ready for football. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker, wt.buzz/SM.
And then, Steve, how about for that Marlins and Dodgers game? Like I mentioned, Andy and I were saying, hey, we're just don't overcomplicate it. We're laying the 1.5 here tonight, even though it's with the home team. Your thoughts on how you would maybe attack this Marlins and Dodgers, where you have the Dodgers most spots 3-bill favorites?
No question about it. I mean, I'm not laying $3 in Major League Baseball, but what's interesting is when you get to that run line, starts getting pretty affordable, actually. I'm seeing around a minus $1.35. And here again, shop around. I mean, we see minus $1.45, minus $1.35, depending on where you look. That's a big difference. But it's still a very reasonable price range. And as I've talked about for years here on Wager Talk TV, the Dodgers, when they win, they normally win by margin. And it makes sense because they're one of the more loaded offenses in the league. But when they lose, it's incredible. They just lose outright. And it's been that way recently here. They've been very up and down. Over the last 10 games, they're just 5-5 straight up. But you look at their 5 wins by 6 runs, 9 runs, 3 runs, 8 runs, and 6 runs. I mean, shoot, you can make an argument to put half your play on minus 1.5 and put the other half unit on minus 2.5 at plus money. Dodger run line is the way to go if you're going to play this game. And that would be the only side I would want here. It's a complete pitching mismatch. Chris Paddock, 6.4 ERA this season. 0-4 as far as decisions go. He's been as bad as anybody in the league. And then you get Yamamoto. You know, everyone talks about Ohtani, but if Ohtani wasn't in the league pitching or hitting, Yamamoto would be considered one of the greatest Japanese pitchers ever in Major League Baseball. And what we saw him do in the World Series last year was incredibly legendary. He won 3 of the 4 games, came in on no rest to win this Game 7 and got the MVP. And he's having a great season this year, 2.5 ERA. And look at his numbers, 28 strikeouts and only 5 walks in 32.5 innings pitched. If you're going to play it, I would only lay it with the Dodgers, but not minus 300. Minus 1.5, minus 135, 140 run line. You could even put some of it on the minus 2.5 alt line, because once again, when the Dodgers win, they win by margin.
Steve, we're going to move to NBA. On paper, I didn't think this series looked like it would be very entertaining, and instead it's been really fun to watch. The Pistons, every issue that you were worried about with the Pistons not having that second scorer has reared its ugly head, and they catch the Orlando Magic, who have just apparently reached their peak and are now the team. They're playing like the team we thought they would be here at the beginning of the season. They're up 2-1, and yet the books still have the Pistons at -3, over under 215. So I ask you, what do you think of this game? And are you going to take over under half a fight or shoving match in this game tonight? I'm taking the over.
Yeah, we got that cashed easy in the Timberwolves Nuggets series, right? And by the way, I do have a breakdown of all 3 games for tonight, including that Timberwolves Nuggets game with the deep dive into props into that late night game right here on Wager Talk TV, daily NBA videos. So make sure you click subscribe and you click the bell as well for an instant alert. And don't be a thumb. See, I messed it up. Dan Alexander gave me a good line. I messed it up already.
God,
don't be a
you tried.
Oh, Dan, I came up with a better one. The stumble led me to a bit. Don't be a heel. Click that thumb. Woo! Click that thumb up. Don't be a heel. Anyway, the more thumbs up, likes, the more positive comments, the more videos we'll be doing. We do have all the NBA videos, but this is, I think, the spotlight game of the night because it's the 1 versus 8. Normally, that's a complete mismatch. But if the season had begun and you told me this was the 1-8, we all would have thought it was the Magic who snuck into the 1 seed. We thought they'd be one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the league. Pistons maybe a better team this year, but never the 1 seed. And it's also interesting, if you go back throughout history, 77 of the 79 NBA champions have been a 1, 2, or 3 seed. 18 of the last 30 have been a 1 seed. That's the majority of the time. The cream rises to the top. And the Thunder were even money, heavy favorites when the playoffs began as the 1 seed in the West. But there were 3 more teams between them and the Pistons. The Pistons were only the 5th overall favorite despite being the other 1 seed. And they're kind of playing up to that. They're young, inexperienced. Magic underachieved this year, probably have more talent than a normal 8 seed. With that said, though, I still think the Pistons are the better team in this series, and they're my preferred side in this series. So when we got them off the loss in Game 1, even though they got outplayed, there was nothing misleading about it. We came back with a strong best bet in Game 2. I gave it to you in the video as well, and they won by 15, led by 24. They stumbled in Game 3, but I think it'll be a focus spot tonight here in Game 4. And if you're liking the Pistons, you got to expect Cade Cunningham to have a good game. He's priced around 29.5. He's had 27 the last 2 games. He did have 39 in Game 1. Keep in mind, he was out for a while with the lung injury, came back and played the final 3 regular season games in mid-April, played 28 minutes or less. He has now gone 40, 37, and 41 minutes the last 3 games. So there is no load management. He will play almost every minute tonight. And yes, he's landed on 27 the last 2 games, but he's been just 4 for 20 from 3-point range, and he's only been a basket away. I like Cunningham up and over tonight. You can also play his assist prop around 9.5 up and over. He's had 20 assists the last 2 games. And in those 3 games in the regular season when he came back in April, limited minutes, about half a game, he still ended up with 31 assists in those 3 games. So I think at worst he split out the points over, the assist over. But if you figure the Pistons bounce back tonight, you got to figure Cade Cunningham's going to do some heavy lifting.
Yeah, got to believe it. Feels like Orlando's forcing Cade to do that and then just trying to take away some of the points and stats from some of the other guys. Yeah. So great stuff, Steve. Excited to watch your Timberwolves and Nuggets breakdown. I'm going to break down that game myself here in a bit. Best of luck. Thank you very much. And just remember, if you're invading another country, Steve, just try not to place.
Always bet on yourself, Steve.
Yeah, always, if anybody, seriously, the chat, I didn't look it up, but if anybody knows how much that market moved, I'd love to hear it, because I think that's the one thing that was a real problem with that. So, yeah, drop it in the comments below. Let's learn and earn and win together, right, Dan Alexander?
I love it. I love it. That's right. Steve Merrill. Check him out on WagerTalk TV and check him out, WT.buzz/SM. Andy, we still have coming the folks' way here. We're going to take them all around the world. But, folks, if you have made it this far in the video before Andy gives you 2 winners here, comment below your favorite flavor of ice cream. Like, subscribe, and let us know your favorite flavor of ice cream in the comments below if you made it this far, Andy. So that's the random question of the day for the folks.
Okay, I got a good one for tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but I'll save it. I'll save it for
tomorrow. Okay, I like it.
Tomorrow,
I like it.
So
I like it.
Real quick, we're going to get to all around the world. I'm going to break down the 2 other games in the NBA. But Dan, did you see the poor guy on the covers contest?
So what happened there?
Okay, so they were running a free contest, and if you picked a certain amount of games in a row correct, you won $25,000. This guy had picked 20 straight winners, which is insane. All he had to do was get 1 more pick right, and he won $25,000. He goes with the Sabres and Bruins under 6. Okay, Sabres get up 6-0. Looks like he's going to cruise to a push, live to fight another day, try and get your next pick in the next day. With 39 seconds, the Bruins score the most meaningless goal you will see of the entire NHL playoffs. With 39 seconds to score 7, this guy was 39 seconds away in a 6-0 game of cashing $25K in a free contest. You're never gonna forget that. It is you're
never gonna recover. You know what I mean? No. Like that's brutal. You do everything right. Going on that run alone. Hopefully he wasn't just making them free plays. Like, I hope that's the only thing that might make this a little bit more palatable, was hopefully he was still betting those plays and he went on that much of a heater. Like, yes, it hurts, but hopefully he at least built up his bankroll with a 20-0 run, man. That's awful. I saw something about it on Twitter and I didn't, have a chance to dive into it. That's even worse than what I thought it was. Because I just thought it was, this guy was in a contest, he gets a bad beat, whatever. But having the lore that he was that freaking hot before it, that sucks.
Only one time has it happened to me, something like that, where I did DFS years ago before I realized that I was actually good at golf DFS.
Yeah.
I entered a free DFS contest at the Masters, and I did not enter it in the $1 million one. And I would have finished like 5th. It would have been like a $15,000 entry.
Ugh.
So when you watch the golf show, you bet your ass that when I give out a DFS lineup, that thing is played for money. So, all right, let's do some free plays here, and Dan, get the drop ready. Thunder.
Oh, it's ready.
Suns. All right, I like the over 214.5. I feel like this number is too low. Only 203 scored in game 1. Next 2 games, 227 and 230 in games 2 and 3. And the Thunder are doing the heavy lifting. 119 plus scored in each game. Number 2 offensive rating in the playoffs. Suns, second worst defensive rating, and decent pace from both teams, 8th and 9th. So not bottom of the barrel here with pace. So I expect the Suns to come out guns ablaze, and they're down 3-0, nothing to lose at home. They got to score to keep up with this team. Jalen Williams is out. I don't see how this affects the line or the total in the slightest. The Thunder just have a turnstile of starters that they can bring in. So we'll take the over. Timberwolves and Nuggets. I know people brought up DeSunmo. His prop is going to be very, very popular at 20.5. Initially, I was like, you got to take the over. He's in the starting lineup with Anthony Edwards and DiVincenzo out. It's just going to be this public play, and I stay away from those. So I'm happy to be wrong. This guy's flown over in the last couple games, but I'm going to stay off of it. I'm happy to be wrong. But I like the Timberwolves tonight, Dan. I like their over 105.5, and I like the plus 11.5. This is a team that averaged 116 points without Anthony Edwards in the lineup this year. Anthony Edwards was not healthy going into that game before he got hurt. So they had been operating kind of without him. The Wolves, by the way, scored 62 points in the second half on Saturday without Dante DiVincenzo and Anthony Edwards. Nuggets are 11th in the playoffs in defensive rating. Jane McDaniel said it. They're hunting some of these guys. I know the Nuggets feel like this is their chance to make a big comeback. I like the Wolves. Everyone's going to be on the Nuggets tonight. Give me the Wolves over 105.5. Timberwolves plus 11.5. And if we're taking the dog, Dan, you got to put a little.
You know what that?
And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
Don't be surprised if the Wolves are barking tonight. This Denver team's got problems.
Give me that plus 380, baby. Let's go. Timberwolves money line. And don't forget, Andy, it wasn't all that long ago when we gave out a Lacrosse dog that was a 1260 underdog.
Yes.
Plus 1260, and we hit that one. So the dog is barking. Andy, by my mark, hour-long show. Yes, we went a little bit long, but we appreciate you guys hanging with us. We timestamp it all so you can click to whatever breakdown you want. Comment below. Let us know what your favorite ice cream is, Andy. But by my count, Andy, we just gave away 12 different free plays here on the show in this hour-long segment. So please, folks, tell folks about WagerTalk Today. Hit that like button and subscribe. What's your thoughts on what Ski dropped? Because Ski is coming up right after us here with Profit Picks with Rob Vino.
Yeah, they're going to try and focus on DeSunmo. Whether they have the talent or not, I don't know. But real quick, we got to give away a 3-day pass because the Hawks played the Knicks over the weekend. So I love, I believe it's Turtle Sports.
We got our man Turtle Sports, our man David Fink commenting below. He said, I'm riding with Andy. Well, guess what? The series that we told you might be going 7 games. It's definitely going at least 6. So at least 2 more winners coming. All you have to do, folks, when we're doing these contests, we let you know to comment below, include your WagerTalk username, and that's how you're entered in. Another winner, Andy. 4 of them we've given away. We'll have at least 2 more. You never know when a comment might just win you a free 3-day flex pass. So congrats to our man David right there. Appreciate you interacting with the show.
RJ asks a great question. How many of those 12 are client picks? Every play of the day that I do is a client play.
Yep.
And then the show, the prop line that I do, where we do our same game parlay of the day and our play of the day, that's always going to be a client play as well. So we have 2 4% best bets that are up in NBA and NHL. But whenever I do a play of the day, I put that in as a client play. So those are some really confident plays. So yeah.
And
Great question.
For what it's worth, it's one of the free plays. The Gobert under 21.5 points, rebounds. That's a free play that is over at Bill Krackenberger's page. So we're not always going to give you the client picks, folks. That's just the reality of it. But we do try and give you our absolute strongest opinions that we can here, without making the clients pissed off as well. So we do what we can for you. Appreciate you as well, RJ, and great question. And let us know, comments below, Andy. For me, salted caramel pretzel. I need a little bit of salt. I need a little bit of sweet. I don't care if it's chocolate ice cream, vanilla ice cream. Just give me that salted caramel pretzel. My favorite ice cream flavor.
Old school. I feel like a kid talking about cookies and cream, keeping it simple.
Oh,
cream. So give me some more.
Classic. If
Yep.
it ain't broke.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow for $5 Tuesday. Again, all those specials are on the specials page. Check out the free picks. Good luck on your bets. Let's have a big Monday. Take care.